Whatever. Okay, I'm gonna explain the entire plot of Baldur's Gate as quickly as I can before I play, and it's with my sister, who is.
What am I?
I mean, I call myself Coffee on the Discord. I know what you want. If I can say your name. C. Okay, my sister. And we're gonna play, and I'm only in Act 3, like around the middle, but I'm gonna catch up, and I think it's gonna be really fucking funny.
I know that Karlak is hot, and you can pet the dog.
Okay, what else do you know?
Karlak is hot, and you can pet the dog.
That's all you really need to know, honestly. Okay.
Mind Flayers, you said.
Right. Okay.
We're on Mind Flayers.
So we're on Mind Flayers. I already explained about the big three. I already explained that there's a ship and you crash it into the thing, and now you have to cure yourself of the little parasite in your head. And there are options for who can cure it. I'm just gonna get the poster up so I have like a visual reference for all the companions. Like, that's all I mean. This is the only image I'm gonna get. I'm not gonna put you through a slideshow because that would be insane.
I want one.
You want a slideshow? I wish I could give you one then.
You were showing me the Grinch lizards.
Yeah, okay, so the Grinch lizards... the Grinch lizards are the enemies of the Mind Flayers. They exist on this astral plane, and their mission in life is to, like, hunt them down. This Grinch lizard, her name's Lazel, and she... What's up?
I thought you meant lizards.
Yeah.
She's a woman.
She lays eggs. I mean, she doesn't lay eggs, but they lay eggs in general. She's from an egg. So I feel like Grinch Lizard is the best way to talk about Githyanki. Because, like, saying Githyanki makes me feel like a nerd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
like
prefer Grinch Lizard.
I don't want to say anything that's, like, beyond what you absolutely need right now.
Okay.
Grinch Lizard species hunts down the Mind Flayers. You run into her first. Her idea is that, oh, shit, I have one of the parasites that's going to make me my enemy in my head. It's okay. We have doctors for this, right? We just have to find them in the mountains. Except she's hostile as fuck, and you're really worried they're going to kill you, so you don't do what she says most of the time. There's also the option of a god that the goblins in the area who also want to kill people is suggesting, because the goblins have like a queen, and the queen is like, oh, you gotta go talk to the queen about being healed, right? Like, I know she knows everything about it, and they're working for the big three. And I'm like, oh, what big three? It's like the big three underneath the big three. Like, it's like there's like escalations of big three.
So the big three are working with the Mind Flayer Big Brain Hive.
Yeah, that's the biggest three, but this is like Act 1, so there's like a smaller three.
Yeah. In
like the goblin camp. Like, there's the goblin dude who's like really celebrated and shit. There's a drow woman. Who's the third? Is there only two? Oh, and then there's the Goblin Queen. That's one option for getting healed, is talking to the Goblin Queen. The other option is going to the Druids. And the Druids are like natural healers and shit. And they live in like a grove up to like the west. Except they're currently being really racist towards tieflings. Like, you know what tieflings are. You play D&D.
They're like demons.
They're like gay demons. And... their city just like came out of hell. Like, they literally just got here from hell, and they just need a place to stay and not get killed by goblins before they get to Baldur's Gate. A lot of this game is heading towards Baldur's Gate. And the tieflings are being really racist, and they're like, we wish we could heal you, we're gonna try, except can you please help us with this tiefling infestation? We don't want them here, and we're also gonna kick them out by summoning our god and making like a big shield that will kill them if they stay. But if they leave, they will also die, because there's like a goblin camp in the hills. So like right now, that none of this is your fucking problem. Like, because you're just trying to get.
So they're
healed.
oversharing.
Yeah, they're like, everybody in this thing overshares and like puts their problems on you. But like, it's pretty cool because like you get to be like the adventurer here, and your companions find it really hot when you help people that they like. You know what I mean? And your companions, you gather them all up pretty quickly. There's Lazel, Grinch Lizard, Shadowheart. She's the bitch who would help on the ship. Like, she's in an egg, and if you rescue her, she'll be your friend. But if you like walk past her, she will never forgive you. Like, so she hates petty. You she's really petty to start. But she's also like a cleric and heals, so like you need her around. It's my
your
favorite,
boyfriend,
right? So he like, you don't know when you first meet him. He like, you go up a hill and he's like sitting there, and he escaped the ship too. But he has like problems.
Yeah,
right?
I can tell.
So the first thing he does is try and trick you so he can kill you. Right? He's like, look over there! There's a thing in the bushes!
Does he fucking
he's like, help me!
Surprise!
And he's like, yeah, and he literally attacks you. He tackles you to the ground and holds a knife to your throat and is like, what are you? I saw you on the ship. And you're like, bitch, I am the same as you. We both have a parasite. Do you need help? And he's like, well, maybe. And so he joins a group, and he's my favorite character. And there's a wizard who, like, over-explains. Like, he's the info dumper, so, like, I always say that he's, like, autistic trans boy swag. Like, he's the vibe, right?
Which one is?
That's Gale. Gale right there. He walks out of a portal, is like, I have a parasite too. I know all this shit about it. Can't fix it. Okay. I have no solutions to suggest, but I really hope I can hang around, and I really hope you appreciate how much I can talk about the situation. Then there's Will, who is introduced to you as, like, the Blade of Frontiers. You meet him in the Tiefling camp, and he's half the reason you want to be nice to the Tieflings, because he's being really nice to the Tieflings, and they really like him, because he's like a hero. Like, he's like a folk hero.
Do we fuck with Tieflings?
We fuck with the Tieflings. So the Tieflings, it's not their fault. They're, like, really nice people. They got, like, families and horns and shit. And they're just in the Grove to survive. Like, the Grove is keeping them safe right now from the goblins. They're hidden in the Grove. If they try to get on the road to Baldur's Gate, it's currently really hostile, because right now there's goblins. And the goblins are only the start, because the road gets really fucked up. So, Will is trying to help the Tieflings as, like, a folk hero, because it's, like, the right thing to do. It is the right thing to do. The Druids are being really assholes about it, like, really racist assholes about it. Because they're, like, a lot of this is the issue of, like, refugees and, like, people running from bad circumstance, and that people who are already established really don't want to help them, which is poignant. That's his...
Girlfriend.
That's not his girlfriend. That's the worst woman in the game.
Oh.
Her name is Mizora. She's the person who's the source of Will's powers. Because he's a warlock, which I think you played enough D&D. Warlocks?
That's her patron.
Yeah, there you go. You're doing great. You meet some people later, but those are the people you start with. The druids can't help you, like, immediately. The druid that tries to help you will try to kill you unless you agree to take poison.
Is that
and
a
kill
druid?
Yourself. No, there's, like, she's not important. There isn't. Oh Jesus, you're gonna love this guy. And so there are the characters that I ended up picking up. Where the fuck is he? This is the druid guy. He's missing at the start of the game. Like, the goblins kidnapped him because he went to their turf, but he wasn't, like, going for the goblins. He was going for the temple to the goddess of darkness underneath the goblin camp.
Do they know that they're on top
They know
sacred
they're
grounds?
in a temple because they wrecked the place. Like, it was a temple that they wrecked. They didn't know all the shit that was underneath there. And underneath the temple, is the Underdark, where all the drows and mushrooms are.
I know that.
You know the
My
Underdark.
game is set in that area with the Lich Queen in the bottom of the earth.
And, like, all the dominatrixes and shit.
Right, the hot ones.
Yeah, we love
Is that where Karlach is from?
I wish. No, Karlach you meet later. And I think that... So the druid can't cure you. Goblin Queen obviously can't cure you. She's talking the big game. She doesn't know shit. But she does tell you, and you do learn through, like, telepathy, that she also has a parasite. And a decent amount of the goblins have parasites despite not being kidnapped. And they all are praising this one god cause, like, praise the absolute. They're in a new cult. Like, the goblins have started a cult, and that cult includes people who are not goblins, which is very unusual.
The goblin cult likes their parasites.
They like the parasites. They really like the parasites. They like people who have the parasites too, which is really interesting, because you'll go up to goblins, and they'll be like, you are a chosen one. I'm gonna do anything you say, and you're like, oh yeah, walk off that cliff, bet. And they're like, yeah. So a lot of the time, you can utilize your telepathic little worm in your head that hasn't killed you. By the way, it was supposed to kill you in 2 days. It's been like a week now. Oh, you're still alive.
Player characters has some plot.
Yeah.
Armors.
Yeah, like, the parasite is supposed to kill you.
Okay.
None of your companions are dead, and it's already been well past 2 days. The parasite's, like, paralyzed. It's not doing the thing it's supposed to do, which is strange. And now you have goblins in a cult worshipping people who have the parasites and praising a god that doesn't exist. Who is also communicating through the parasites with people who have the parasites who agree to the god. But you don't really hear that, which is strange.
So ours don't work, but the other parasites work.
Yeah, which is weird, right? Like, that it should work.
We have the team version.
Yeah, I hope this is like a YouTube video for
this
you.
Is funny.
I'm trying to make it entertaining.
I am entertaining.
Okay, good. Tell me if it gets boring. I'll stop immediately. Or tell me to rush if you need me to rush.
I want to know about my girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so your girlfriend. So that actually starts with Will. Because on top of... He's a fucking liar a lot of the time. Like, he's like, I'm going to help the tieflings. It's the right thing to do. Also, I'm hunting fiends in the area because also my god is making me do that. But don't worry about that. There's a tiefling named Karlach who escaped Avernus, which is the plane of the Hells. And I need to hunt that tiefling down because they're a menace to society. They're out here raging, and they're fucking things up, and you need to help me help them down, because otherwise my patron's gonna punish me, and I don't want that to happen because she's very contractual about it, and she sucks a lot. So you agree to help Will, the good guy.
So it's my boss.
Yeah, she sucks so much. Like, Mizora is the fucking worst.
She needs me to kill those people.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it, but she'll like contract at him. Like, she doesn't communicate with him. She'll be like, Article 2 of Section thing.
Oh my god,
like, she's very entitled. She sucks so much. But she's his boss, and he did sign the contract.
Okay.
He just regrets it sometimes, but like not really.
So
he
he's
says
a victim.
He's a victim, yeah. He's a victim of a really bad contract, and she hunted him down to do it. Like, it's a whole thing. I won't talk about it yet because you're here for Karlak.
I'm here for my girl.
You meet her in a bloody pool at a river on the wrong side, like basically cowering for her life.
No.
Because she's being hunted. And when you talk to her, she's a fiend. She's not a tiefling, she's like a fiend. Like, no wings or anything, but she's like on fire. Like, her hair is on fire. She's got metal in her hair. She's got an engine for her chest. Have you seen her?
I have seen her.
Okay, so you know exactly what she looks like.
Yeah.
And she's like,
she's RGB.
Are you here to kill me? Because I will try and kill you, but she's outnumbered. But I would really like the help. I need help because I'm being hunted and I just escaped. And you're like, what do you mean escaped? Do you mean escaped like hell? Because everybody in hell sucks, right? And she's like, no, I escaped a contractual war. I ran. I fled from the hell war because I'm a deserter. She's a hell war deserter. She didn't want to be there. She wants to be up here. And she ran. And you don't know how she ended up out up here or down there either yet. And you don't know why she's on fire. Because that's not usual for fiends, to be actively on fire constantly. But because you're a homosexual, you kill you kill the people who were sent after her, who are not good people. Like, they're impersonating like paladins and shit, like religious people who are on the good side of things, but really they're just cultists who were hired by the I forget her name. Something. Zariel, who's the queen of hell. Hired them to hunt Karlak down. You kill them. She gets really happy about being free and not being hunted by them anymore because she's exhausted. And when she gets happy, I'm going to tell you all the details on Karlak. I will skip fast through everybody else, but I know who you're here for.
This is 70 hours of Karlak.
Yeah, okay. Okay. I hope I'm recording. This is very funny to me. Yeah, we're fine. She explodes when she's happy. Like, literally. She her animation is like to stim a lot, like she'll dance and like shake herself out. But when she gets excited about being free, you literally lose control of her, and the house that you're in, she runs around destroying shit, setting it on fire in a blaze of glory.
Oh my god, she's quirky.
She's
like
the
her.
cutest, and she's like, sorry, that happens when I get excited. I got this thing in my chest, and she has basically a machine in her chest that's keeping her alive that they put in her as an experiment, because Zariel, she's basically the pet of the goddess of hell. She's not the best fighter that they have, but she's the fighter that survived an experiment on like metal chests, and she was betrayed by someone. She's from this plane. She was a person from Baldur's Gate.
She was a person?
She is a person as she is. I don't know if she's a tiefling for sure. I think she is, but either way, she used to be a you learn this as you get to know her. She used to be just a paid for hire bodyguard in Baldur's Gate with a bit of a rough past.
She is so Prima is so Karlak coded.
Oh, I'm sure. You should make her in the game and have them romance. I think
I'm gonna make them marry.
As you should. And she got into this guy named. She got hired by this guy named Gortash, who was kind of like a mentor figure for her. Like, got her off the streets, got her a good paying job, was really like good as an employer, trusted her with her life, like they were really close, like she trusted him so much. And he sold her to be experimented on by the Queen of Hell. Like, 1 second she was working for this guy, trusting him with her life. The second he sold her in a contract with the devil. And she woke up with like a machine in her chest that was burning her from the inside out. She is in constant pain. She cannot touch people. She can't drink cold water or cold beer.
Oh my god.
Yes.
She's like German, no ice.
Yes. So Karlak they made her German.
Oh.
Right? But she's happy. She's ecstatic all the fucking time because for the last 10 years she's been stuck in the demon war, and now she's on the surface with you, the player character, who killed the cultists who followed her. She'll do anything for you. She's just happy to be here. And you say to her, hey, I bet we can fix that. Because we meet a blacksmith amongst the tieflings who, all the tieflings also escaped hell.
I, for one, would like to help her with her heart surgery.
Basically, that's basically what she's like. You can help Karlach with her heart surgery.
Yes.
And they get it stabilized with a tiefling. It's just like tiefling blacksmith. It doesn't really matter. But it's not cured. She still can't touch you unless you like douse her in water. But like she really just wants to be able to touch people. That's like her wants are so limited. She wants to not be in hell and also hold a motherfucker's
She's so
hand.
real.
Exactly. And that's it for Karlach, right? And that, like, the other people have things going on too. Like, Will is definitely.
I don't even give a shit what he's on about.
I know. I'm like gonna pass through because it's connected. Because if you save Karlach, basically Will turns into he gets horns because he broke his contract if she survives.
Well, that's because he signed it. Karlach didn't sign anything.
Exactly.
So who is really the... Anyways.
Yeah, but he's always like, yeah, I'm sacrificed. Like, I like Will. I really do. He's just not my favorite. Like, I like him a lot, but he's like, shit, I broke my contract, but it is the right thing to do, so I'm gonna do it because I'm the Blade of Frontiers. I'm like, man, you signed the document and you didn't know what was in, but you were also a kid. Like, he was really young when he signed it. Like, not super young, but he was young enough for me to be, like, sensitive to it, and he wants out badly. So Missoura turns him red into a tiefling, and tieflings kind of get racism in this universe. Like, not the most, but definitely a decent amount. So he's not, like, he doesn't look like the icon he was before.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
It is,
like
it's really sad. Surgeries. Like, all of them are fucking sad, right? So you learn that, like, you promise... Like, you don't promise him anything yet. It's just like he wants to get out of his contract and you hope he can do it someday. Except he's still lying to you because you head, like, towards Baldur's Gate because, like, now your only options, really, are the Githyanki.
Who's that?
The Githyanki are the fucking lizard
that's the
egg
lizard.
people, yeah. The lizard frogs. And her healer, and she's so aggressive, and you're like, they're gonna fucking kill us, aren't they? She's like, no, I have to get to the healer doctor crush, whatever the fuck. And they're gonna take it out because that's my protocol. And you're like, this is a horrible idea, but I don't have any other ideas. Also, we kill all the goblins. Like, I do that.
Is that
I choose.
Good?
It is a good thing to do because in killing the goblins, you meet Halsin, who I'm not going to talk about too much because he's not who you're here for. That's Halsin.
Oh, he's the one who was underground.
Yeah, he was captured on his way to the underground to look into something called the Night Song. I won't get into it. And it did not go well. He's also the mayor of the Druid Grove, basically. And they put, like, the worst bitch you could imagine in charge when he was gone. So, like, in order to make sure the tieflings aren't killed, you have to rescue him. And you might as well kill all the goblins while you're at it, because otherwise they'll attack you later, and also they suck. And they're cultists, and they're goblins. And you just go through the camp, you kill them all. But while you're at the camp, you realize why you don't hear anything when everybody else is hearing God when they have a parasite. And it's because of this little spiky box that looks like a D20. That
we have
shadow our heart. We have a little D20 that keeps us alive. Or D12, I don't know what it is. And it's like, we don't know what it is yet. We know that there's a voice inside of it now that we're hearing that's talking to us and is saying, you need to keep me safe. Do not hand me over to anybody. I will keep you from turning into a mind flayer or being controlled by this quote-unquote absolute. You learn that.
Are we the only one who has that?
We are the only one. It's like a little magnet, so it comes back to us. Shadowheart had it, and then it chose us after it gave up on Shadowheart, I guess. Like,
who's that?
Shadowheart is the goth girl who hates you if you don't save her.
Oh, the one who's like...
The cleric who's...
Hates
she worships like Shar and shit, which is the same temple Halsin was going. It's like a whole interconnected web. She's cool. Like, she's actually really... She's just really shady. Like, literally... Like, shady in the haha, that's ironic way, because she's the goddess of... She's, like, following the goddess of darkness. But also shady in the sense that, like, she's, like, totally down for torture and, like lying to people and keeping secrets. But I swear she's still a good person. I can't even get into that yet.
Can't keep defending you like
yeah,
this.
I can't keep defending you like
so
this.
We took her Rubik's Cube.
Yeah,
she
told us nothing about it. She's like, don't even look at it. Like, don't even what Rubik's Cube? She'll gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss that Rubik's Cube, and then it literally jumps out of her pocket into ours.
That's really awkward.
It's really awkward. And she's like, shit, I failed my mission. You're like, what mission? It's like, oh shit, yeah, I'm a goddess. Like, the goddess Shar, who likes torture and misery, told me to pick that up. I would love to get it back, but I can't. So like.
So what happens?
My mission
now?
is fucked. But really the priority is getting the parasites out of our head. Right. So I will still work with you.
Right.
I will still work with you. Like, but like it's kind of a lot. She could
have a lesson on our grace and patience.
Yes, she could. That's basically all she has for Act 1. Like, right? Okay. Will is now a tiefling because we helped Karlak, but we have Karlak now.
I don't mind. Sorry.
You don't care about Will? Yeah, and now we have Halsin because we rescued him from the goblin camp. Also killed all the goblins, and the goblins are all worshipping the god called the Absolute, who's a telepathic monster, who is looking for the Rubik's Cube that we now literally can't give anybody because it's a magnet to us. And also the parasites should still be killing us, but apparently the Rubik's Cube's going to keep from doing that as long as we have it on us. So we literally shouldn't give it to anybody because either we transform into mind flayers when we don't have the Rubik's Cube, or we lose our free will. So it turns out these goblins that were following the cult, some of the people in the cult have parasites in their heads, and the parasite in their heads is connected to this god called the Absolute that's giving them instructions on some sort of grand plan. We don't know what that plan is, but a lot of people are dying, and the people who don't die are being indoctrinated into this cult that keeps attacking and kidnapping people. But the goblins are all dead, and we head back to the tiefling camp, and they're like, you were a fucking beast for that. You weren't supposed to do that. I did that because I'm invested in this game. And they're like, wow, we were supposed to have a fight here. But you killed all the goblins, there's nobody else to fight, and the game's going to recognize that because it's the best game in the world.
Period.
Yeah. Alright, so there's no more goblins, we have the mayor back, we go down to the druids, and he's like, what the fuck, you were going to kill all these tieflings in front of my salad? Right? He loves tossing salad.
Who?
Halsin. I'll get into that back too. And so he disposes the bitch who is in charge. But he's also like, but also I don't want to be mayor anymore. I want to go with these people because I have work to do.
He's the fucking mayor. What work else does he have to do?
Very important because now all we got is this Githyanki on the road to Path 2. It's cleared out. There's no more goblins. We head off and that's the end. You can fight a hag. You can meet a vampire hunter who wants to kidnap Astarion and return him to his master, who is the worst. I don't even know how to describe Astarion's plot, but I really want to. If you care about Karlak, I care about Astarion, so you gotta tell me if you even want to know.
I am Karlak motivated today.
Okay, you're Karlak motivated. I'm going to put for my own serotonin. For your
sanity and serotonin.
You meet Astarion, he's a bitch. But he's a bitch for a reason because he's been.
Is he the one who stabbed you in the?
He's the one who stabbed you.
Okay.
He's the white-haired guy in the front. He's very flirtatious, very sassy, whatever. Well dressed, and
he's a vampire.
He's a vampire, and you learn that because he either tries to eat you or eats a pig on the road and then tries to eat you.
So you can let him suck you or not.
You can let him suck you, and he'll be like, "I haven't ever eaten anybody. You're my first." And you're like, "How is that fucking possible?
How does he live? Is he like red meat?"
And the thing is, yeah, he's been a vampire for 100. Unfortunately, slutty years.
Slutty?
Yeah.
Slutty? What?
Like in a funny way, like haha, but also, like, you know what I mean. So because he was a diplomat in Baldur's Gate 200 years ago, and is an elf, so he's probably already old at that point. And he was attacked by a group of people who's kind of racist towards still, called the Gur, who were monster hunters, and he wasn't a monster. They just attacked him. Like, he doesn't really know why. So he was dying, and this guy named Cazador comes up to him and is like, do you want to die, or do you want to live as an immortal? And he's like, well, shit, I want to live. And he regrets it every day. Because Cazador is a monster. He takes Astarion and 6 other vampires and tortures and uses them for 200 years in all sorts of sadistic games to capture people to eat for him. And I think the worst part of that, and I'm saying this ironically because I want to escape the hell of thinking about how much this man has been through because it makes me so sad, is he didn't share his meals. He didn't share any of the food. Astarion, genuinely, you are the first person he's been able to drink the blood of, because the guy would feed him rats and pests and old blood. You know what I mean? Like, he was, he has like a huge scar on his back that's like a sigil, and we don't know what it means yet, but it was painful because the guy just likes the way he screams.
That sounds...
It's bad. It's as weird and bad as I don't even want to get into detail, but it's really bad. So his job for like 200 years is basically to seduce people for his master to eat, and then also be tortured on weekends.
So it's okay.
Yeah.
All right. So.
But in addition to that, right? Like he has the parasite now.
So we're his first meal.
We're not only his first meal, but this is basically the first day we meet him is his first day outside in the daytime in like 200 years.
Oh, so he's like crunching.
Yeah, because he's a vampire in every way a vampire can matter, but he's not limited to being in the dark.
Oh.
And he also is not controlled by Cazador anymore because the guy had telepathic powers over him and all the rest of the vampires that he made that the parasite is impeding. So the difficulty is that everybody else wants to be cured of the parasite. Asterion just wants to control it, and that doesn't really make sense until he mentions this is the one thing that's keeping me from turning tail and walking back to Baldur's Gate into the service of the devil, basically, for the next rest of my life, right?
Oh, so he's like into it.
Yeah,
he's
but
enjoying his parasite.
Yeah, but it sounds really bad to start because he's willing to do a lot of shit to be free of this guy, but it's kind of like it's either all this shit or going back to hell. In the similarities, Karlach. I love them both. They have different hells they're trying to escape. They're both out. They're both happy to be here. Asterion's just terrified of going back. Karlach has no fear. She's a goddess. Okay, so that's kind of where they overlap. It's going to come a couple more times. Gale's a wizard. He's going to explode someday. Like, I'm not even joking. He's literally got a bomb in his chest that he put there by accident.
But
yeah, he was trying to impress his girlfriend, who is also the goddess of magic. And he was like, you know what's going to really impress her? If I get back the part of her that some other human being, asshole, took so many years ago by pursuing the same magic that he did, but for the good right reasons, right? For the right reasons.
I'm not like him. I'm not like him. I'm different, babe.
Exactly. So he gets into this stuff called Netherese magic. I'm not even going to use that word again ever. And it fucks up, right? It implants itself in his chest. He barely survives. And now he needs to eat shoes that are magical.
Shoes?
Shoes, knives, clothes. Mostly shoes. People like feeding him shoes because it's very funny. So he doesn't actively like explode because there's a ticking time bomb in his chest. If it starts to get out of control, he starts to get weaker. If he dies, it starts to like leak necrotic magic, and if he's dead for long enough, he will explode in a way that's large enough to level the entire country.
Put him in hell. Put him somewhere else. Weaponize him.
Consider this, though.
Yeah, he's a nuke.
He's very entertaining. And also, like, he doesn't want to be exploding here. He didn't really mean it. But his girlfriend also broke up with him because of it.
Oh obviously. My god, that's so bad.
Yeah, like, he's like, what the fuck did you do? Like, actually. So he wants to help, but the parasite has nothing to offer except for his knowledge on what parasites are and what they should be doing. And also, he's going to explode. But he's a wizard, so he's the only wizard.
He's a fucking compost bin.
He's the magical compost bin. But the thing is that you don't want to get rid of the magical weapons. They're really, really useful. So he's asking for a lot and not giving much back to start, and he knows it. So he's a little clown of a guy to make up for it. It's sweet. Halcyon likes nature, and also he turns into a bear when you fuck.
That's not okay.
It's an accident. Next. Alright, so you're on the road. You meet the Gith. Unsurprisingly, the Gith want to kill you. The lizard people want to kill you because you have a tadpole in their head. They don't care that you haven't transformed yet. You could transform any second. We get to the healer who also wants to kill you. All the Gith want to kill you. Every single one. Lazel's fucked up for that because she's like, yeah, I'm following my protocol. We all need to get to the healer because they're going to save me. They try to kill us so many times. I love my bird feeder, right?
That's a feeder?
A bird feeder?
I thought they just liked this ledge.
No, I put it there. So I had birds in the window.
Oh, that's so cute.
Venus likes them.
That's for entertainment.
It is. It's her cat TV. I love her cat TV.
Oh my god, that's so recreational.
Isn't it? I hope the AC is making it worth its info dumping. I'm not gonna play this, so this is enjoyable. Okay, I'm glad it's enjoyable.
Although I really like Karlach.
I know you do. She's still here. She's just great. Like she doesn't explode in the same runaround way now that her thing is like she got a new installment, but it's not enough, right? The guy who is helping her says, meet me in Baldur's Gate. I'll have better tech then. I'm going to research it. I will do
everything it takes to get to Baldur's Gate.
Literally, that's the effect that she has. Everybody wants to help Karlach. I want to help Karlach. He wants to help Karlach. we're getting to Baldur's Gate and we're gonna help her ass. Some complications on the way there. Githyanki, eggs, try to kill us. We literally. I try to help her so bad. Like I don't. There's an Underdark path you can take that I didn't take. You get a really nice dress if you go that way, and you. I mean, I wish I went that way sometimes, but I'll go next time. But we face off with the god of Githyanki, who is an immortal woman who appears as a projection. If you sass her too much, she will kill you on the spot.
Okay.
And she is hunting
the
Rubik's Cube, the D12.
Does she know that I have it?
She doesn't. But she wants. She's everybody's supposed to be. You know you have it, and you're just walking around. Everybody's like, "You need to find the thing," and I'm like,
"Damn, that's crazy."
That's rough. And like, and also Lae'zel knows the importance of it, so she's not saying anything either, which is like really tough for her, because like she's really obedient. Because the Githyanki are really like dictator. They're not. They're abused as a whole society. Like they kill the children and they put them into combat to see who's the strongest and will survive. And they don't like they're fighting mind flayers.
They're lizards, folks.
Yeah. I don't know if lizards are this bad, but they're fighting the mind flayers, which is a really important cause. But the means they do to do it is like they'll kill any human, they'll kill anybody, they'll kill each other. They just want to fight the mind flayers, and they take a lot of pride in the killing and the dying of it all. And that's not their fault. That's the queen, who has instilled this like society of pride around killing mind flayers and worshiping her. Because she wants to be a living god, but then you meet her, and it's kind of like, you suck, like, you know, and she's like, I demand you go into the Rubik's Cube, and you kill what you find, and you're like, I don't want to do that, actually, and she's like, what did you say?
How dare you defy me?
Exactly, you'll be like, well, why don't you do it? You look like kind of powerful. She's like, what the fuck did you say to me? It's like, I'm just saying, and then she'll kill you, and the game ends right there if you do that.
That's the sass?
That's the sass.
I have a bard. Question.
Yeah, I play a bard in the game, and like I sassed her once, and she killed
you. That's real.
It's real. It's real. So I come back to life. I'm like, yeah, I'll go do it. Like,
I'll go get you like 3 Rubik's cubes.
I'm
gonna
get you. Yeah, shit.
What color you want?
Yeah, like, but it's not the Rubik's cubes going in there and killing what you find, but there's somebody inside there. There's a person who appears in your dreams sometimes and is fighting for their life in the astral plane, according to what you can see. They say they're just like you, and you design them when you start the game.
Is that my first character that I played?
It's not your first character, but the game prompts you. It's like, who do you dream of? And this is who you dream of. You dream of somebody who is fighting for their life, not only to keep the absolute from influencing you, but also keep you, according to them, from turning into a mind flayer. And that's who you presume they're sending you in to kill, right? So you get there and they're like, you gotta listen to me, you gotta trust me, I can't explain right now. They say that a lot.
I don't believe that.
Exactly.
I'm gonna
believe
kill
that
it.
shit
for
a second!
I don't even have dreams like that. I don't even have inspirations like that. I know.
Exactly. Yeah, so like...
I'd kill it.
I did. I sat there and they were like, you gotta trust me. Haven't I been protecting you? Isn't this enough evidence for you that you're still alive and not a mind flayer, that I'm a good person? Like, I know I can't tell you things. I know I'm being vague as shit, but like, don't you trust me? Like, you'd be dead without me? And they're like, I'll be dead if I go outside without killing you. And like, okay, and they're like, okay. And they kneel down. It's like, if you don't trust me,
bitch, I don't.
Then stab me in the chest right now. I'll hold it up. I'm not even to fight. And you're like shit, like that. Like, that's how I stab him. And it was fucking fake. Like, they do that. They make a big scene of, like, it's so vulnerable that you're gonna let you sit. And then, like, 3 seconds later, they're back. Like, I knew that.
What?
Like, they come back, it's like, I didn't think you would do that. It's like, bitch, I knew that this would happen.
I'll do it again. Watch, try me.
Right? So, like, you leave and you can't kill them.
That's annoying. You
can't kill them, so you go out, your party member's like, I literally can't kill them. I don't know what to do. And so we head out, and we're like, well, gotta tell them they're literally unkillable. I don't know what you want us to do. Except when we get out, the god woman is done, and she, like, left people behind just to murder our asses for no reason, even though she said that if we went in and killed or at least tried, like, she would elevate Lae'zel, make her, like...
So she lied.
Like, Lizard Grinch Mayor. She lied, and she designated, like, Lae'zel a traitor for obeying her to a T. And then
the justice system has got to stop.
She's so betrayed by this. And then they attack, we kill them. She's heartbroken. She's lived her life in service to this queen who's labeled her a traitor for doing everything right and tried to kill her. And then we just got to keep on walking. Like, everybody hates it. That's the middle. That was the route we took. There's like other shit on the road sometimes, like undead. Actually, there's like lots of zombies for some reason, which is kind of weird. But Halcyon actually has an explanation from that, which is Act 2. So the next place is a little bit fucked up. Let me show you an image.
I saw you say Act 2.
I was so close.
I saw that.
Yeah, Act 2. I don't know if the images are going to show up. Let's see, Moonrise. It's not good. It's, everything is in shadow. Like, you go from, like, a natural, like, beautiful Druid's Grove to this shit.
Who did that?
I don't know yet, but Halson's gonna tell me, because he told me to come here.
Oh, this is the zombie era.
Yeah, it is. It's like, we have to go through here to get to Baldur's Gate, and you're like, what the fuck is here? And you're like, well, he's like, well, it's this place, it's like Moonrise. I forget what I don't care what the place is called, like, you don't care either. But it's a place that's cursed by the shadow. I'm looking to Shadowheart, who's following the goddess of shadow. It's like,
does she just want her Rubik's Cube back, or
like it? Yeah,
is this all for that?
The goddess of shadow also wants the Rubik's Cube. I don't know why yet, but like she did this. Like her worshippers fucked this up. Like we don't know who exactly yet, but we're walking through and there's undead. If you go into the dark, you'll just die and go mad. And we're like, shit, bro. Like we gotta walk through here. And then Halson's like, well, no, I want to stay and fix it if you'll help me.
No.
And I'm like, do you know how? And he's like, let me work on that. I'll get back to you. Because he's not in your party yet. Like, he's just hanging out around a camp eating all your food because he's 20 feet tall. You walk through. You have a choice whether to do it with the goblins and, like, use your telepathy with the goblins because they'll just believe you. Because they're like...
the worms.
Yeah, they'll believe you're part of the cult if you act like it because you got the worms. Otherwise, you can kind of, like, hang out with the humans. They got, like, an inn going. There's a character from the previous games in there. She's a badass. Her name's Shahira. I love her with all my heart. Actually, I think you'll probably like her because she's cool. She's also, like, got a bit of an accent. I think she's supposed to sound a little Russian. I might be very, very wrong. And she's old. And she, like, is really defensive of this inn.
I love her.
I love her dearly. She's so fucking cool. And Karlak actually loves her too, so that's actually the connection.
I love my girlfriend's friends.
Exactly. So I met her with Karlak, and Karlak's reactions are the most adorable because she gets up to Jahira and she's like, like, oh my god! Like she's like, it's like meeting a celebrity for Karlak.
It's Lady Gaga in the flesh.
That's literally the Lady Gaga of Baldur's Gate.
I would be honored.
Karlak loses her mind, and like you can. So I always had them together for that quest. It was great. Or for like when I got the opportunity later. And so she's protecting this inn, which is like this last protected place covered by moonlight and the entire shadow thing. Because the thing about the shadow is that the enemy of the shadow is the moon. I'm not going to explain that. It's like two different gods. They're just beefing. And there's like a cleric up in the tower who's like, she's keeping everybody safe. She made a big old orb of light, and she's a cleric of Saloon, who's like the opposite of Shadowheart. And
the god of light.
Yeah, the god of light versus the god of dark. Shadowheart follows dark. This girl follows light. Her name's Isabel. She's kind of depressed, but she's trying to keep a thing. And then immediately she almost gets kidnapped by an angel. And the angel is corrupted by the shadow and also the absolute. So the shadow is... So now we got mind control parasites.
That have dark power.
Mind control parasites and death shadow undead. Collaborating... And
that's,
goblins still. Like the goblins
I'll
are
wrap it up.
Yeah.
The game.
Yeah, it's a lot, kind of. It's kind of a lot. And they were like, yeah, it's all in this tower. The king of this land has lost his mind. He's been alive like a lich king for like... You can touch her back. I don't know what you're so afraid of.
I was like...
Yeah, my cat is here as context. And the king's undead. He's made all of his family members undead into these horrible abominations across the town. Like, it's a really good set piece. I think my favorite was probably... this really greedy woman who turned into a statue of gold, and she just shits gold while she walks around in circles and she protects the toll road.
That's
and
so
like
real.
She won't attack you. She's like, pay the toll, and you're like, shit. She's like, more, and it's like, okay. It's like, how much? It's like, all the money you have, and I'm like,
She's gonna shit it out again?
Yeah, she just walks around dropping gold. Like, I got a lot of money just watching her do her thing for like a while.
Can you just pause the game? Or just stop what you're doing?
I was waiting to see if she would stop dropping gold. Like, it was always like 19, 20 gold at a time. But I'm a monger when it comes to like money in games. So I like, that was my favorite. And if you hit her, she'll like drop 1,000. Anyways, that's like his sister. Like, that's her family member, and he turned them into this abomination. Like, the whole place is fucked up.
Well, that's a good investment if she shits gold every time.
I mean, the gold comes from somewhere. She does eat gold to shit gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not an investment. It just is.
Okay.
So
it's just kind of rude then.
Yeah.
You didn't need to do all that.
But the king did all this because he wanted to bring his daughter back to life, basically. His daughter died 100 years ago, and he switched from worshipping the moon to worshipping the dark. And at some point in worshipping the dark, he got into touch with things that could bring his daughter back to life. And that's where he came to worshipping Merkel, which is the god of the dead. So the king kind of like really spiraled. Yeah. And with him, the entire kingdom spiraled into the shadow. Isn't she so cute? Cat serotonin. You like this little story.
Her little face.
But the name of the daughter he meant to bring back is Isabel. And Isabel is the cleric keeping everybody safe.
She loves the sun.
She's a worshiper of the moon. She's the moon, the light, whatever. And she's the one. She's undead, and she's protecting all the people. And we don't know that about her, and she doesn't tell us. But we're like, shit, why? Like, she ran. She didn't want to be around him. I don't know his whole story, but I do know is that I wanted to get Shadowheart shit set because every bit of approval that woman gives me is a hard-won battle to start. And I was like, I'm about to, like, you know, if you want to become a dark Justicar and give your life to the shadow, I'll help you, I guess. Like, if this is really meaningful, like, you seem really into it. So I'm like, okay. And she's like,
talk your shit.
Yeah, like, I'm like, I don't know if I approve of this, especially when we're looking around at what the shadow thing can do, but I will follow you. I will follow you, and I will suggest you don't, but if you want to, like, I'm not going to stop you. You get a really cool knife at the end. We're going to figure out what the night song is. Apparently the night song is a really important key to fixing the shadow curse thing, and also is the key to the king's immortality. So we might have to kill it. Get to the temple. I fucking hate that temple, man. Like, the Temple of Shar is, like, a really fun, really shitty challenge where it puts you through trials of, like, stealth and combat, and you face your double in other rooms, which is actually pretty cool. Like, I did it narratively. Like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna send Astarion in for stealth. I'm gonna send Shadowheart in for faith. I'm gonna hope I get out of this fucking place because I hate it here. Also, the rats are all telepathic.
No, because they're talking shit about you.
Yeah, I think the only thing I really cared about in that temple, like, it was a great... I'm not gonna diss it because it was really fun. Like, in the end, it was just exhausting. There's a guy in the basement who made a deal with this guy named... Actually, I should probably talk about Raphael at some point. A devil named Raphael, because he wanted to feel like, I guess, not alone or some shit. And so he's like, yeah, I'll make you into multitudes. And turned him into 1,000 rats.
Is Raphael part Fae? That's some Fae shit.
You've actually met him before by the time you find out he did this.
What a dickhead. I can make you so much powerful. Would you like 1,000
You
claws?
will be many, and it's like you are little. And like the thing is that he's not just 1,000 rats. Like, you go down to little summoning circles.
Are they all talking to
Every
each other?
like minute or so, a rat just spawns. He's becoming more and more rats over time, and they are really aggressive shadow work. She'll be like, you'll talk to the rats. They'll be like, not worthy, get out of here. This is where, and it's like they've lost their mind.
So,
because it's one guy who's 1,000 rats. It's my favorite part. Raphael is a devil who you actually meet in the Druid Grove, who proposes a cure.
No, he's gonna take 2,000 rats.
Exactly.
Fuck
and
him.
Karlach warns you, Gale warns you, Will warns you, because he signed a contract before, to not trust this guy when he says, yeah, I'll just take the parasite out of your head. You're not going to owe me anything. I can fix it. And I'm like, bet, no. Because he, like, teleports you into his little hovel of decadence and shit before he turns to a devil. He's like around, you know, like he knows shit and he can help. but helping is going to cost. He's very charismatic. I like him in a similar way as I like Astarion. Karlach hates his ass.
Me too.
He
I hate his
knows
ass.
her boss, and he knows her. Like, he knows Karlach's boss. He basically works for Karlach's boss.
The one that sold him out, or the one that put her into servitude forever?
Zariel, the queen. The queen who bought her, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, who traded her with the guy. We'll get into the guy who sold her. He's a big part of this, and I hate him so much. He's there, Raphael. You help Shadowheart get everything she ever wanted, and the last step of it is to murder and kill the thing that we need to kill already, because it's what's keeping the king of this land alive and keeping the shadow curse alive. And you get down there, and there's like a necromancer torturing her, and it's a woman. It's a woman who is the daughter of the moon. It's Dame Aelin, and she's been down there for 100 years, sustaining the king's immortality through, and like suffering, because the followers of Shar, mind you, Shadowheart's family, more or less, her cult family, have been torturing her, and Shadowheart needs to kill her, this innocent woman who's been tortured, to become what the god of the shadows has always wanted Shadowheart to become. Mind you, is that Shadowheart can't really remember her childhood. The first memory...
I don't care about her.
I know, but she can't remember her childhood. Like, the god of shadow rescued her, so she feels indebted, but she's always been missing something. So that you basically use that to say, like, fuck no, we're not killing the angel. And she
was mean to us once, so I don't care.
Yeah, so
I want to play. I want to play now.
I know, it's really good.
I'm ready to play.
You ready to play now?
Yeah, fuck this.
You want to hear Karlach's story in entirety, or you just want to play the game?
I'm ready. I think I'm gonna play now.
Okay.
I've been converted.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's all you needed.
I've lost $60.
You've lost $60.
Thank you.
That's it. That's all it took. You just had to. What convinced you? If I can ask, while we wrap up.
Karlach.
Karlach.
I love her a lot.
If you go on
and
a romance
the Curse
route,
of 1,000 Rats is pretty fucking baller.
It's like the smallest
I've
thing.
never heard of that.
There's like 100 other little things like that.
I like that.
And they actually narratively matter. Like, I feel like I can go back down there and figure out how to turn myself into 1,000 rats if I really wanted to.
I'm down.
Yeah, the game is full.
Right.
Do you want to hear more Karlach, or you want me to just play the game instead?
Let's pause this.
Yeah, thank you for listening to my spiels.
Thank you for educating me.
I've converted someone. It only took me 47 minutes.
The passage of time.
Oh my god.
Is unreal.
I know.